1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
What is not, and standards and Kaizen are very much the same thing. Let me start by saying that having standards doesn't mean standardizing everything. It's a vocabulary confusion. Having standards doesn't mean you want everything the same for everybody everywhere, which is how we understand it from a tailorist point of view. For instance, a corporation wants a lean program. They want the same slide delivered in the same place in every office in the world. This is Taylorism. This doesn't make any sense from a lean perspective, just no sense at all. Standards means that we follow a scientific process. So we have a few mountains of certainty. There's some things we know. There's no point questioning them because we know them. We know that single piece flow is more effective than batch. Come on, every time we try it, it works. We have 20% productivity. There's no point, you see what I mean? But these things are very few and far between. We don't know that many stuff. So this is where we have standards. Standards is, here's a standard. We know this. Rather than try to challenge this right away, look at all the things that are not standard and work there. Then we have these islands of we believe so. So in this case, we have standards, but they're not so firm, and we have to work a lot of Kaizen to understand whether the standard applies or not. And all of this is in oceans of we just don't know. So in a situation, when you look at any situation, you think first, is there a standard? In some cases, there is a very firm standard. So the first thing you do is, why are we not applying the standard? End of story. In most situations, there is some standard somewhere, but it's not applied here. So here you have to do Kaizen to understand why are the standards not applied, what makes the situation different, and so forth. And finally, you're in many, many situations where there's no standard at all. You just haven't got a clue. So there you would do Kaizen to see if you can figure out the first standard. Am I making any sense? So it's a range of situations.
Yeah, but is Kaizen kind of a catch-all word? I mean, I'm not sure that, is it consult needs and, I want this big picture stuff, but we're sitting here talking about, I mean, how am I going to take it down to the individual or the middle manager and say, you have to practice Kaizen every day. He's going to look at me and turn around and says, okay, I got these parts to get out. I got this to do and everything. And, and sure, we're going to try, we believe in continuous improvement. We're going to do that. But Kaizen, it's just another term.
To me, it's a key. This is how I look. I look at a room full of plant managers in a corporation, for instance. And so I have 15 plant managers, 15 plants across the world. And I was doing this recently with a CEO, and we have a sheet of paper, and we'll listen to their, we do one of these, who-ha thing. Everybody comes together for lean seminar, and they'll present their plans for in the plan. And with the CEO, with this on a sheet of paper, there are two columns. The column of people saying, I love this Kaizen stuff, but I'm so busy, I'll do it when I've got time. And there's the column, because I'm so busy putting out fires that I don't have time to do Kaizen. And there's this column of, I'm doing the Kaizen first because like this, I have less fires to put out. And it's very clear. You hear them when they speak, which column they're in. And that is the challenge. The challenge is, how many guys do you have on the column says, I'm doing my Kaizen first because it makes everything better. And yes, I still have some fires, but I'm living with them and it will get better. Or the column, those guys say, listen, I'm so drowned with my problems that I don't have time to do Kaizen. So it's really a clear attitude shift. In terms of the other thing where you're saying in terms of making it more grounded, well, that's pretty simple. You, as whatever you do, is there one thing you want to get better at? It's just, even in personal life, is there one thing you want to get better at? And usually we don't, because it's daunting, because it's just too huge a change. So, wow. So here's the thing with Kaizen, say, well, break it down in the first step. What is the first step of that 1,000 steps journey? What is the first step? What could you do in 1 minute every day? Just have 1 minute every day to contribute to Kaizen. That's enough for me. And the trick is, from the boss's point of view, is that they pick your direction with something that fits with a strategic challenge. They say, we want to go this way, you understand? So if you want to take your department this way, you need to make a step in this direction. And then, if the step we ask you is too large, fine, let's make it a small step. So the great thing about this is that you'd have the global challenge, the overall challenge where you want to go, and you break it down into steps that are so small that at some point anybody can take them. And if you maintain the pressure, say, well, yeah, good, first step, very good. Then a second, then a third. I have a funny situation right now with a company starting with, well, they've been doing this for lean for a while now. We're planning for real. So they say, we've decided that their problem is productivity. Fine. So we have these productivity Kaizens, like you say, events. And they were so proud because they'd done one. And they had 40% productivity. They were crazy. We're talking automotive here. They thought they would have 5. They had 40%. They went crazy. And I said, listen, guys, I'm not even listening to you. You've just done one. Just one. Let's make a second. So they made a second, and they discovered new things. And again, wow. I said, guys, I'm not even listening to you. I will start talking to you when you've done 5. And then I will start listening to you when you've done 10. Because that's it. Because at the first steps, the lessons they're drawing from these initial events, it's not lessons. It's just what happened to them. It's just an adventure. So here's a typical case. We need to improve productivity. So we're going to have these Kaizen focused on productivity. And if we do 10, then yes, we will understand our productivity problem much better. If we just do 1, it's an adventure, but it doesn't tell us anything.
Ba 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 ba